Now, every single week is a lot, but we're talking about effectively a decentralized company where the most active people are basically full-time or part-time employees, and anyone who's a full-time or part-time quote employee is expected to attend a weekly meeting. It's just part of their job to get their tasking, to get feedback. You're not working someplace if you're not attending at least one meeting a week. So that's, it's not for all EOS token holders. This is not governance by all the people who are just sitting back. This is governance by the people that are willing to put in time and effort to contribute value to the EOS ecosystem. If you're not contributing value, even if the only value you're contributing is showing up and helping rank the projects, that's contributing value too. But that's the minimum value that we expect from anyone who's going to participate and have a say. Is you have to show up once a week. If you're not willing to show up once a week, your opinion does not matter in the system. You can buy or sell the token if you don't like the way that the people who are showing up are directing things. But that's the idea. You're either in or you're out.
Or you can have a team. You can have a team, and a team member will just show up to participate and to have like a say for the team, right?
Well, all team members are expected to participate in the weekly meetings to maximize the income to the team. The team dynamics are to provide some accountability, and build the relationships of like a regular people that you're working with. So because those regular people with you meeting every single day are your friends, that's on your team. And so you want your entire team to be participating in the weekly meetings, because that's how your team gets income. And then your team reaches consensus on how to divide up among, all right, the web guy gets this, the marketing guy gets this, the legal guy gets this. And you can evaluate that on the team. But the team needs representatives in the weekly meetings to get the idea and evangelize what the team's doing and to inform the other market participants. So if you have a team, you want every single person attending the weekly meetings, because that's how your team is reporting into all the other teams in a randomized fashion. That's how your team gets discovered. And that's how new people can actually find teams that they want to join. I'm not on a team. I attend some random meetings. I like that team. They like me. Now you're in and you got hired, right? So it's the weekly meetings are sort of the cross-pollination of ideas. The teams are sort of accountability and getting diverse sets of skills to work together and to recognize the people who are maybe managers that coordinate the team. And only the team can really see that work. No one else can judge, is this manager doing a good job? But we do need managers of teams. And then the global governance is each team picks a team leader, and each team is ranked based upon the sum of the rankings of their members in the weekly meetings. And so that's why a team of 12 people is likely going to rank higher than a team of 4 people. And a team that can communicate and all their people go up higher. And if they're consistent over time, like over 3 months, they're winning week over week after week, people are valuing them above other people. You take the top 12 teams of 12 people, that's 144 people. That's sort of like the main governing body. The team leads, which is 12, that's the council. That's sort of like twice this meeting, right? The chief delegates are 6, we'll have 12. And the council can't do anything other than without a 3-day delay. They say, hey, I want to update the smart contract, or we want to do this. They can do any transaction on the EOS network. They want to exercise sudo powers. Then there's a 3-day waiting period, during which if the team doesn't approve of what their leaders did, they can change the team leader. And then once they change the team leader, they can change the vote of the team and cancel it. So you're really talking about accountability of 144 people of every action, which is far more accountability and far more decentralization than 21 block producers. And this is all from the most active people that are contributing the most value to the blockchain. Now, how much value are people going to contribute to the blockchain? it's going to be proportional to the amount of inflation that the blockchain is willing to raise capital. If you have 10% inflation, you're going to get much more value because people are going to compete for that inflation. Is it going to dilute people? Yes. But the market's going to, it's almost like an auction. People are going to compete harder and do more if there's more inflation until the value of the work provided approximates the value of the inflation that is provided. Now, if there's, if some people being overpaid, it's going to drive developers into the ecosystem because the pay is high. It's like there's a disaster and power's out. Well, people are going to ship gasoline in there because gas prices are $20 a gallon until it normalizes. Well, we have a disaster zone here in EOS, and we need developers, and so prices need to be high to attract developers in. If the only thing we are doing is paying developers market going rates to come to EOS, they're like, well, I'm happy where I'm at. What incentive is there for me to take the risk on this community with this questionable reputation? But then once they start doing that, then the community's reputation starts turning around and good things happen. So it's really a question of what rate of growth of present contribution relative to past contribution makes sense. And so with Fractally, each fractal has a minimum inflation rate of 5% per year, which is basically recognizing that what you did 20 years ago decays in value relative to the present time. It doesn't matter what someone did 20, it matters what people are doing today. And so a 5% minimum inflation rate keeps present contributors recognized, keeps the engine moving forward without devaluing past contributions so fast that no one wants to, that people feel like they need to exit immediately.
Dan, what about the parameters? Can each DAO have, let's say, different parameters like, let's say, changing the weekly meeting to like bi-weekly or monthly, weekly?
Each DAO is in complete control of its own smart contract. So they can change anything they like at any time. I think the weekly meeting is really to facilitate the rate of number of people that you're meeting to keep the cadence up. If you're religious, you go to church once a week, right? And then you go to a small group in the middle of the week, right? Sundays, you meet everyone, that's the weekly meeting. And then, mid-weekday, you get your small group, that's your team. And that process keeps the cohesion, keeps the momentum going forward, and it minimizes the risk. If you do 2 weeks worth of work before you check in, well, there's a chance you might not get paid for 2 weeks worth of stuff, that you might be on the wrong track. By doing it every week, people get in a rhythm, and the compensation should be high enough, right? That you're compensated for your time just for showing up. So it's not like you're volunteering and not getting paid for this. Even if you're the lowest ranked person, maybe you get minimum wage for that 1 hour that you showed up. And by the time you get up to the second round, well, gosh, you're making hundreds of thousands of dollars an hour for your time to show up for the 2 hours or the 3 hours if you're really up there. And those people that are 3 hours, well, they're actually probably full-time working on EOS. So it's part of their job to show up, right? You have to view this governance process as the process of the people that are working on the chain, not the process of bystanders just trying to offer an opinion. So it's just like an employee-run organization where everyone's working, and this is just part of the job description. And if you can't commit to a weekly meeting, you're not actually committing to be an employee. That's sort of like the minimum part-time job is 1 hour a week. And if you're not willing to commit 1 hour a week, you're not willing to be an employee. You don't get a say in governance. And that's the philosophy, which if you're looking at from different perspectives of, oh, I'm just a casual social media user, this is a part-time thing, it's kind of a hobby, I don't really care, I can't do this every week, I got a life, I got a family. No, this is for people that this is their bread and butter, this is their passion, this is their job, this is their side gig.
I mean,
that
being said, I mean, a person could drop in like once and then not be there for 3 weeks and show up again and contribute. It's not like
Exactly.
they'd be excluded.
As long as they show up once every there's a minimum rate, right? You can miss like so many meetings before you're like fired. You can go on, you can take a month vacation and then come back. You know, some people show up once a month, but the meetings happen every single week, and the people who show up more often get paid more than people who show up less often.
Sure.
And you can show up just to say, hey, I haven't actually done much work. I'm just here to judge and like provide my feedback on rankings as well.
Exactly.
That's an option too.
The minimum contribution is your time in the meeting. You don't have to do anything outside the meeting if you just want to show up for the meeting. But even if everyone just showed up for the meeting, you still have to rank yourself. So there's still incentive to do at least something, so that if everyone is like you, hey, maybe you can get hired because, and so there's always economic incentive to do a little extra so that you're not tied for the lowest, right?